footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September, which is part of a new highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans. As well, and there was one instance in Harlem, and his reaction when those people
went away.
Got in
the car and said, I feel like I need to wash, like I'm dirt. It show you his character.
Was that the reason for including it?
Yeah, I mean, what's the odds that you would do that in front of the camera? Like that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right, for 20 years, right, is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester. Like, maybe you'll come play with me type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important to also let people know that the show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. We weren't trying to just get the highlights, the salacious details, you know, that the real goal was to storytell. And not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this project.
The 4-part series also features 2 jurors from Combs' trial who are speaking for the first time about how they reached their mixed verdict, finding Combs guilty of 2 prostitution offenses, but clear of racketeering and sex trafficking charges, both sharing their thoughts on the relationship between Combs and singer Cassie. Juror 75 describing them as 2 people in love, and Juror 160 saying in part, domestic violence wasn't one of the charges. Cassie, is she a victim in all this? I
believe Cassie's a victim in all this because she came in as she's like 18, like 19 years old in the very beginning. After a while, over time, you condition for it.
The goal of what the film is trying to do is to let the audience kind of come in to ask questions like, were their decisions colored by certain things, and who got the benefit of the doubt, you know, in that courtroom?
Do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip-hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that behavior.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time. Because you'll see people saying that. I mean, he may feel a different way about pieces and bits of it, but he knows the truth. I think he'll see the truth in it.
Wow, that was some finish right there. Thank you, Robin, for that. Sean Combs' The Writing will be streaming worldwide on Netflix tomorrow.
50 Cent showed up this morning to announce his new documentary on Netflix. The documentary is about Diddy and his final days before he was arrested by federal agents. 50 Cent was recording and documenting everything. The person speaking had to cut some clips from their video because it used actual footage from the documentary. That footage is copyrighted by Netflix. But if you watch the full announcement, you can see little previews. The documentary is coming out tomorrow. 50 Cent had been talking about this documentary for a while. It was already being made, but now he and Netflix have made it official. However, Diddy has sent a message out through his team. Even though he is currently with the federal agents, his team put out his stance on his relationship with Netflix. Diddy says he was already in discussions with Netflix for his own project. His team says the way Netflix is doing this right now is illegal. They are not sure about the law, but Diddy's team says it is wrong. They say the legal issues will be handled. A reporter named Lauren LaRosa from The Breakfast Club got an exclusive statement from Diddy's team. Other people have also been contacted with this side of the story. Here is the exclusive statement from Diddy's representative about 50 Cent's new documentary on Netflix. Diddy's team alleges the following. They confirmed that Netflix used footage that was never approved for release. This includes private moments, material from before Diddy was indicted from an unfinished project, and conversations about legal strategy. Those conversations were never meant for the public. The footage was created for a completely different purpose under a deal that was never finished. No rights were ever given to Netflix. A payment dispute between other people does not give Netflix permission to use private material without a license. None of this footage came from Diddy or his team. Its use raises serious questions about how Netflix got it and why they decided to use it. In response to the new documentary, Diddy's team also says Netflix is making the main problem worse. They did this by giving creative control of the production to Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Diddy's team continues their allegations. They say 50 Cent is a longtime public enemy of Diddy. They claim he has made fun of Diddy for decades, posted fake accusations, and publicly celebrated Diddy's legal problems. They point out that even 50 Cent admitted he was shocked that some moments were ever filmed. Diddy's team says this shows the footage is being used for entertainment, not for fairness or context. Besides the legal worries, Diddy sees Netflix's decision as a personal betrayal. He has long respected Ted Sarandos, admired the legacy of co-founder Reed Hastings, and had a good personal relationship with the company's leadership. For Netflix to give his story to someone who has publicly attacked him for decades feels to Diddy like an unnecessary and very personal insult. He expected fairness, at the very least, from people he considered colleagues. The speaker adds that they were also told Diddy had been working on his own documentary with Netflix before all this. But Diddy backed out once he couldn't have creative control over it. Diddy also alleges that Netflix has a recent pattern of choosing sensational content over accuracy. They point to another Netflix documentary that used discredited and fabricated journals. Diddy's team says using unauthorized footage here shows reckless disregard, not real journalism. Diddy's publicist says their legal team is formally notifying Netflix. They expect the company to fix these issues immediately. Looking at how this played out, Diddy and his team already knew this day was coming. They knew Netflix would be promoting and releasing this documentary. It did not just surprise them. So Diddy already gave his team the words he wanted them to put out there. His message is, I have a relationship with the people at Netflix. I was already in talks with them about using my footage for a documentary. They don't have a license for this. They didn't get my permission and I do not approve of what they are releasing. This did not just spring on them today. They knew it was coming because 50 Cent had already been promoting it. But they had a plan. Once this drops, put out Diddy's statement and also handle it legally. Diddy is saying, hey, I already had something planned with Netflix. 50 Cent has been coming at me this whole time. That is his legal side talking. Diddy's team believes the intentions here are not good at all. They think Netflix and 50 Cent are just looking for a moment. They even say there are clips in the documentary that make Diddy look bad. They mention a clip where Diddy is shaking hands on the street and says something like, I need to take a bath now, man. I've been around 150 people. The speaker says you want to be clean and sanitary, but saying that on camera can be used against you. The documentary also reportedly includes talk about Diddy's legal strategy. The speaker then shares their own opinion. They say they do not agree with the documentary being made by someone else in hip-hop, specifically 50 Cent. They also do not agree with something 50 Cent said in a video. The speaker thinks if Diddy did not speak up, people would wrongly think all of hip-hop is okay with Diddy's actions. The speaker strongly disagrees with that idea. They say 50 Cent is incorrect on that point. They argue that in the wider world, negative stereotypes are put on black people no matter what anyone does or says. That stigma has always been there. The speaker gives examples. When pastors of other races get in trouble, their entire culture or race is not blamed. When people like Harvey Weinstein or Jeffrey Epstein or Hollywood executives are accused of bad things, people do not say the whole of Hollywood is that way. Their business and culture does not stop. So, whatever Diddy has going on, the speaker says that is not a representation of hip-hop or black people at all. That is just one individual. Therefore, the speaker cannot agree with 50 Cent on that point. The speaker would not make a documentary like this. They say this is just who 50 Cent is. He is the king of petty. He will go low. That is very clear. But with this situation, the speaker is clear they are not saying what Diddy did to Cassie was okay. Beating her and dragging her down a hallway is not cool. The speaker is not saying that is okay. But the speaker also notes that some people, even a juror, questioned if some charges were really trafficking. The speaker acknowledges that Diddy met Cassie when she was young and manipulated her. That is not in doubt. The speaker understands she might have felt trapped. None of that stuff is cool, the speaker repeats. But the speaker says we cannot act like this situation is something it is not. People make their own decisions. The speaker references reports that Diddy paid people to have sex with Cassie, suggesting that was by choice, not by force. They mention drug use as part of that environment. The speaker says 50 Cent is definitely a marketing genius because he knows how to capitalize off of all this. We will have to see how it plays out. 50 Cent once said he gave somebody's kids a moment in the game, and you could say it is not personal. But the speaker says at this point, it is clearly personal. The speaker says, we don't do stuff like this. They feel it has to be personal to go to this level. The speaker shares that they are a different type of person. Everyone moves differently. They know 50 Cent fixates on his stuff. But if the speaker has an issue with somebody, they do not want to give that person too much attention. They would not focus their time on that person, no matter how much money they could make from it. That is just how the speaker is. But everybody moves differently. If the speaker had an issue with someone, they would not focus so much energy on going at them that they make documentaries about them. They would not focus on them in every post, even if it is for marketing. The speaker ends by asking for other people's thoughts. They say they have to disagree with 50 Cent on some of the points and things he said in that video. But when it comes to beefing, being petty, and going for the win, that is what 50 Cent is going to do. However, the speaker cannot agree with those talking points from 50 Cent. They tell the audience to share what they think and say more videos are coming. So, what do you think about all of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like these updates, please help the channel by giving this video a like, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. I'll see you in the next video. You won't want to miss it.